start watching me sooner or later. I didn't think they'd be quite so obvious about it. Just fill a room that I'm sitting in with 30 of them. That seems a little ostentatious. But we
are talking about China. They got like how many billion people in that country? I mean, yeah, they can afford 30.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, they're not going to miss them.
No, fuck no.
The one thing that it did blow my mind is if you've followed, and this is right up our alley, which is I thought it was great. He brought it up, the pollution issue, because their air quality was so terrible, and it's improved rather drastically in a very short period of time under Xi Jinping's rule. And I thought they had a really unique approach to the pollution problem, and it's one that I would really like to institute here. They set out a set of guidelines for companies to follow. And do you know what he does to the companies that don't follow them?
What?
He shuts them down. You're no longer a company. Bye. He's shut down 120,000 companies for not following regulations, pollution regulations. That's how he deals with the pollution problem. You're not going to follow it? Your company doesn't exist anymore. See ya.
Holy shit, that's impressive.
That's fantastic, isn't it? That's a good... No more cap and trade. You just don't exist anymore. I thought that's brilliant. There's no skirting the law. There's no finding a loophole. You do or you're done. And I just thought, now that doesn't sound terrible to me. That's not dictatorship. That's just getting things done. That's taking care of business. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Pollution got better. Oh, wow. People who actually do stuff and then things get better. What a novel concept.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
When a government actually enacts something that's effective, things change.
You see, it's interesting because, though, that puts things in a different perspective when it comes to Trudeau, ironically, because Trudeau has always been saying, I really like what he's been doing in China, and he's been saying that, and everybody here has been like, he promotes China, he thinks we should all be dictators, we should do this and this and this, and everybody's saying a bad thing. Now it's starting to make a little bit of sense.
Now, the final point that was just the nail in the coffin for my love affair with this gentleman, and I will be talking to him as much as humanly possible. He said, we got to build that pipeline. We got to build it now. Because here's the deal. The China owns most of the Iranian oil fields.
Yeah.
But if you bomb them, if the U.S. decides to go in and bomb them, they won't rebuild them. They'll just abandon them. So they won't buy Iranian oil anymore if America invades. Now, they've also said that they won't buy American oil if America invades. So that leaves Russian and Canadian oil. We could basically sell China 100% of their oil. But it takes too long to get to them without that pipeline. So they won't buy it if we don't have that pipeline. But we're just idiotic not to be jumping on this right now. Get it?
Well, the whole concept of not doing the pipeline is stupid anyways.
Well, of course it is.
I mean, I get the presence or the concept of, like, you know, if there's a leak, like, you know, the environmental damage it can do. I mean, I get it and I understand all that. But to sit there to say that we don't need it is stupid.
Well,
it's beyond stupid.
And to keep delaying it is stupid. But like China, Canada and Russia stand a really good chance of becoming the next world superpowers if we just, you know, get on top of this and ignore the U.S. Stop even just don't deal with Trump for the next 4 years. Just deal with China and Russia and get something done on our own. And we're going to come out way ahead of the game here.
Well, I think that'd be great because I think one of the things that the world needs to do, I think the entire world just needs to cut the U.S. out.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, one of the things I said was, you know, I wish I had learned Chinese instead of French in high school because it would really come in handy when you guys take over. And he said, we're not taking over. He said, if we wanted to, we would have.
Nice.
He said, they own the American debt. They own the American debt. They can take over the states whenever they want. They don't want to. It's a crap country. They don't want it.
I would absolutely love to hear about all of a sudden China owns the U.S.
Right.
Because I remember when that was a big thing when it was first brought to the attention of the public over the fact that China owns the American debt. And if they ever decide at any point in time to turn around and knock on the U.S. door and say, yeah, we're here to collect, the U.S. is fucked.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And I think they're going to want to really think twice about this Iranian invasion. Invasion, sorry.
Invasion, yeah.
It's not going to do them well at all.
And I'm still trying to figure out what the point of this is. Like, didn't they just go through this with fucking Bush Jr.?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the thing. They never leave loose ends. It's just a grudge match. They've been wanting to go to Iran since the Oliver North days, really.
Yeah, but for what? It just doesn't make sense. If you're doing it just for the oil, even then that doesn't make sense because the U.S. is still one of the largest producers of oil.
Right. Well, it's clearly Israeli linked, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'd have to assume so.
That's the only thing is to make the Israelis happy.
And that's the thing I really don't understand.
Why
is anybody pandering to them?
And no one will explain it to me. I don't understand it.
Well, the only thing that makes sense is just money. Because it's the only thing that they're good for. They're good for money, and that's it.
Yeah, but how terrible and stereotypical and rotten is that? I mean, that's bordering on maybe we took the wrong side in World War II kind of territory.
Well, yeah, which we all, it's a borderline tough issue to state, but yeah,
that's why I know. That's why I cut myself off too. But if that's the case, they're gonna end the world. Maybe somebody was onto something.
Huh?
If we go to nuclear war because America's got a big hard-on for Israel, that's gonna be, people are gonna be like, shit. We had a chance to do something about this, and we didn't.
Huh.
That's a weird thought, eh? That's just that's where Eric and Gord just would get. We can't get too much into. I don't know enough about it to say, but I would hate to think that that's a thing that might be thought. If that sentence makes any sense whatsoever. But this is what I mean by this gentleman. I talked to him for all of 45 minutes, and he just tore my fucking life apart in the best possible way. That's what
everything
I said.
You thought you knew.
That's what you and I have been preaching for the last 2 months, right? Find your truth. Get out there and find the truth. Talk to someone, And I'm not sure that what I got from this gentleman was completely the truth. He could just be very pro-communist, and But I've found a new vessel to explore, and I will. Now I have to go back and reassess the things I've said about China in the last year and see maybe perhaps Gord was wrong.
Well, we all know that can't be true. That can't happen.
I wasn't going to say the other way.
I'll shut this fucking podcast down if that's true.
Oh, hey, you know what? The show has a new associate producer who can take the blame for everything now. So really, Adrien Segur was wrong the whole time.
Yeah, see, Adrien, way to go, buddy. You fucked everything up.
He's clearly misled us. This is what happens when your staff gets too big. I knew it. I knew we expanded too quickly.
We get one person involved. That's it. A motherfucker screwed us.
The whole thing just falls apart.
That's great.
God
no, actually, I do have a question about Adrien now. So what is his primary role?
Basically, the half-silent partner, kind of. He'll critique and suggest things and offer segment ideas. Content contributor, pretty much.
Okay.
And he gets to have his guest spot whenever he feels like it. He can just call up and go, I'm doing a guest spot tonight. And we just have to say that's okay.
Oh. Because that's something we just say no to anyways. You know what I mean?
Right? So very excited to have him on the show quickly. I think we'll do a live one with him because we can actually do it properly now. And that I think that he's better in that format.
Yeah.
And then
by the way, I'm about to. I should be able to get the Wi-Fi password for the cemetery the crematorium, so I might be able to go back to the cemetery, so no more background car noise.
That's the creepiest, awesome news ever.
Right? Words only that I could say. Get away with it.
Is that the Milton whatever cemetery that I keep getting messages to like?
The Milton Evergreen Cemetery.
Yeah. That's
You're
awesome.
Getting things to like that page, really?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great that's
who sent you the request for it?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to who sends me stuff.
You should look at that because I'd be very interested to find out because I wonder if it's who I think it is. That'd be too fucking funny because he just got a guy I know just got the job there. He's now like high up on the cemetery board.
Okay, that's probably who it is.
Which is ironic because his father, by the way, was I think he still is a minister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great. I mean, the whole family is just amazing. They're one of the true, genuine, nicest people on the planet, and they're truly God's people. There's just no getting around. I don't even know how to actually else to word it. They are just the definition of if God actually designed people, he designed them after these guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And he's a minister and he runs the cemetery? Is that the...
No, his father was the minister that briefly worked for my family at the monument company, and the guy I'm speaking about, because I'm not sure if I should mention his name, so I'm not going to at the moment. He, after his father left, worked for the business, he ended up coming in and working for my parents for a while, and then left to do something else, and then now he just accepted the position over at the cemetery board. So
I see. Very cool.
Yeah, because I also got a thing to say, oh, here, like the Milton Evergreen Cemetery. I'm like, A, how am I not already? Because I'm in there all the time, so I should already like it. But so I liked it for the first time, and interested to see if they're going to start having because how does the cemetery have a social media presence? You know what I mean? Like, come and look at our stiffies. I just don't know how that.
Do they have like a media person that we could have on the show?
I am going to find out.
Find out if there's someone there we could interview. That'd be really cool, actually. Because it's a very interesting industry.
It's a deadly industry.
Woo!
I can do this all night, folks.
You can. You will.
I got the death puns everywhere, so yeah.
Another thing, I don't know if it's going to help or hurt us, but we have severed ties with Google. ericandgord.com is no longer a Google domain. I bought it and made it officially not theirs, so they no longer control me. It cost a little bit of money I didn't have, but it felt dirty having them as my domain keeper.
Yeah.
So that's done.
Oh, okay.
Other exciting interviews coming up. Not just Adrien, the new associate producer of What If We're Right. We have also got Craig Stadler coming up. I'm super crazy stoked to speak to this man. He is the gentleman who started, it's pdvid.com, which is the...
Why have I heard of that?
Because it's the first and only possible successor to YouTube. It's the alternative to YouTube and the only one that's ever made an impression. And it's getting very popular because YouTube's decided to start censoring the shit out of people, and YouTube content creators are not happy about it. And they're looking to jump ship in... mass exodus, and pdvid.com is where they're all jumping to. So he actually requested a guest spot on our show.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're going to have him in the next little while. Very, very cool. And I also got the CEO of Blueberry, who I've been chatting with here and there.
Yes, that'll be a good one to have.
He's going to give us a couple of minutes when he can find it in his schedule too. So some actual real interviews coming up this next little say quarter, if you will. I don't know what a quarter is, but that'll be our quarter. We don't really have a beginning or end to our year, so we can't really say when a quarter is. But
our fiscal year is when we decide it to be.
Our fiscal year will be when I make some goddamn money.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't really call it a fiscal year when I'm just hemorrhaging every dime we have on laptops.
That is definitely true.
It's